Hi everyone, welcome to our second episode. As I promised, everything is going to be in English now. But don't worry, I'm sure that you will be able to understand everything. And in case you have some difficulties with following certain steps, you can always go to episode 1 or turn on the subtitles.
Actually live up to their name.
To live up to this impossible ideal.
So the first word for today is live up to something. When we live up to our promises or live up to a standard or live up to somebody's expectations, we do what people expected us to do. For example, if my parents expect me or want me to be a good professional or a good person, and I become a good professional or a good person, it means that I have lived up to my parents' expectations. Now, step number 2, pronunciation. Make sure that you pronounce first two words as a single word. Live up, live up, live up to something. And instead of something, we can use many different nouns like live up to a standard, live up to an ideal, live up to my promises, live up to somebody's expectations, live up to, live up to. Remember, you need to get comfortable with the word. You need to own the word. You need to feel it as a part of your body. So make sure that you spend as much time on pronunciation as it's necessary. You can always say the word with different intonation. You can say it louder. You can whisper like live up to. You can say it with an angry face, live up to. Or you can say it with a smiley happy face, live up to. Use many different intonations. Remember, get comfortable with the word. This is what you want. So step number 3, we need to look at the word in the context. So you need to live up to your potential. We know word potential. So you need to live up to your potential. Or the film has certainly lived up to my expectations. So I thought it was a great film and it turned out to be really great. So the film lived up to my expectations. He failed to live up to his parents' expectations. So he didn't do what his parents expected him to do, or he didn't do what his parents wanted him to do. So he failed to live up to his parents' expectations. And one more example. The team called No Hopers has certainly lived up to their name. So step number 4. Let's listen to different people pronouncing the word.
My father had to live up to this impossible ideal.
Again, remember that we need to repeat after them using the gestures, using the intonation. So if you need, you can listen to it one more time and then say it out loud. It's really very important.
My father had to live up to this impossible ideal.
My father had to live up to this impossible ideal. My father had to live up to this impossible ideal. If you need, you can slow down a little bit and say it like, my father had to live up to this impossible ideal.
Because people might feel ashamed they are not able to live up to your expectations.
Don't forget that you need to copy an intonation and copy the mimics and copy the facial expressions.
Because people might feel ashamed they are not able to live up to your expectations.
They are not able to live up to your expectations.
The devils actually live up to their name and can be quite fierce.
The devils actually live up to their names and can be quite fierce. The devils actually live up to their names and can be quite fierce. And now finally step number 5. Remember, it's the most important step. You need to use these words, this phrase, in the examples of your own. And make sure to picture everything that you are saying. Like, for example, a situation. My friend asks me, where are you going tonight? And I said, I'm going out with my boyfriend. And then friend gets angry and she says, what? I thought you were going to spend an evening with me. And this is where I get angry and say, sorry, I didn't live up to expectations. This is your problem, not my problem. And another situation, imagine conversation with parents and your parents tell you, or my parents tell me, I thought you would be a great professional and you are an Instagram blogger? That's very disappointing. And what would I say to my parents? I would say, well, I'm really sorry I didn't live up to your expectations, but trust me, I'll make everything possible so that you can be proud of me. And then parents say, okay, agreed.
Let it trawl through all of that data.
Having a little trawl through Instagram.
So, our second word, trawl. And this is not that kind of trawl. Trawl means to search among many different objects or many different places in order to find information. Trawl. Like for example, there are so many things on your table. I need to trawl through them every time I want to find something. Yeah, this is typically my table. This is not my typical table, to be honest. But so, step number 2, pronunciation. That's super easy. Trawl, trawl. But pay attention, when we pronounce first 2 letters, tr, they don't sound like tr, but trawl, trawl, trawl. And remember, you need to get comfortable with the word. Like you can say it super slowly, trawl. You can whisper, trawl, and so on. Say it as many times as you need. Step number 3, use in the context. So yesterday I had to trawl through my lecture notes again. Or she spent the morning in the library trawling for necessary information. Or we can say big companies trawl through major universities in order to find great employees. So step number 4. Let's listen to people using this word in the context.
Let it trawl through all of that data.
She has really funny accent, and he had to trawl through all of that data. Data the same as information. She had to trawl through all of that data.
Picture that we've spotted having a little trawl through Instagram.
Picture that we've spotted having a little trawl through Instagram. So you can have a trawl through something, have a trawl through a library, have a trawl through Instagram, have a trawl through Facebook, and so on.
But it's a pain for humans to trawl through all the electronic.
But it's a pain for humans to trawl through all of the electronics. Don't forget to copy the intonation, copy the gestures. This is really going to help you. And now step number 5, the most important step. Don't forget to make your own examples, not just listen to mine, but make your own examples and say them out loud. It's really very important. For example, I asked my friend to give me a book to read, and he says, well, go and take it from the shelf. And I say, well, could you please do that? Because I don't want to trawl through your bookcase, or something like that. Or another example, a lady's bag is a kind of a magic object. You always have to trawl through all the stuff for about an hour before you can find keys.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little preoccupied.
You will be preoccupied with...
Word number 3, preoccupied. Preoccupied means being worried about something. So when you have something on your mind and you think about it and you cannot notice anything going around it. So you're kind of lost in your thoughts. So you're worried and you're thinking about it and you don't notice anything around. So step number 2, pronunciation. Preoccupied. 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 Remember different intonations. Preoccupied. 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 Preoccupied, and so on. Step number 3, use in the context. What's wrong with Cindy? She seems a little bit preoccupied. He was too preoccupied with his own thoughts to notice anything wrong. We live in a world preoccupied by sport. And now my favorite part, step number 4. Let's look at these words used by other people. And remember that you need to copy gestures and intonation and facial expressions. So try to mirror them.
Anyway, the point is, silence is awesome.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little preoccupied.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little preoccupied. Yeah, so, and you can try to copy her voice. It sounds really great. So you notice that he said, well, yeah, silence is great. So silence is great. They were sitting together and she wasn't saying anything because she was deep in her thoughts. And then he said, well, silence is great. And then she apologized. She said, oh, sorry, I'm just a little bit preoccupied.
Are not terribly preoccupied with what's going on in Washington.
We're not terribly preoccupied with what's going on in Washington. So we're not terribly preoccupied.
because likely you will be preoccupied with a few notes that you missed.
So likely you will be preoccupied with few notes that you'll miss. And again, try to copy her gestures. It's really going to help you to get comfortable with the word. So, and now step number 5, the most important one. We need to use the word in our own examples. So remember that you need to do it with me. It's not just me doing all the work. You are working, you're doing that with me. Well, I wouldn't call it work. So I hope it's something that you enjoy doing, but you need to practice as well. So yesterday I was a bit preoccupied with everything going on in my life, and I missed my bus home, and it was the last bus, so I had to walk. Something like that. Remember that you need to picture the words, you need to picture the situation, because it's really going to help you remember the word.
I don't opt for happiness. I
opt for a reusable water bottle.
So our next word, 4th word. Very easy, very simple word. Opt. Opt. Opt for something. Opt against something. Opt means choose. When we opt for something, we choose that particular object or that particular thing. So when we opt for something, we prefer one object to another. Like for example, my mother prepared pasta and rice for dinner, and I opted for pasta. Or for example, my mother prepared pasta for dinner and I opted against it, and I decided to cook something else, to make a salad. So opt for something, it means that we choose that object, and opt against something means that we don't want that object. So no pronunciation, but I'm sure that you'll have no problems with this word. Opt. So it's very short sound. Opt for, opt against. Say it a couple of times, and let's go to step number 3. After a long thought, I opted against buying a motorcycle. Many young people are opting to go to college. After graduating, she opted for a career in music. And now step number 4. Let's watch some videos.
In what cases will you opt for the other choice and why?
In what cases will you opt for another choice and why? And every time you repeat the phrase, try to imagine why she's saying that. So try to be part of that situation.
I don't opt for happiness. I opt for happiness.
This is a funny one. I don't opt for happiness. I opt for happiness. Yeah, so remember that it's very important to copy the intonation. And you see, I'm not perfect at it. So, but that's okay. You don't need to be perfect. Just do it to the extent you can. And that's it. This is the most important thing. Just try. I don't opt for happiness. I opt for happiness.
Instead of buying disposable plastic water bottles, opt for a reusable water bottle that you can fill up again and again.
Opt for a reusable water bottle that you can use again and again. And again, if you need, you can slow down. Opt for a reusable water bottle that you can use again and again. And now, the most important part, step number 5, your own examples. My friend ordered pizza for dinner, but I opted for a healthier option and I ordered a salad.
Do they have a short fuse?
You might have a short fuse like your mom.
And finally, word number 5. And it's a phrase, have a short fuse, or have a short temper, have a short fuse. Fuse is a small object, and I understand nothing in electricity, to be honest, but you can see the picture of it. So this is that very important object that stops electricity when there is too much power. So it's really important, but in our case, have a short fuse means getting angry fast, getting angry easily. Let's have a look at the pronunciation. Have a short fuse. Have a short fuse. Have a short fuse. Have a short fuse. I have a short fuse. My father has a short fuse. My neighbor has a short fuse. Have a short fuse. So, and now if you are comfortable with pronunciation, let's move to step number 3. Girls today have short fuses. Means that girls today get angry easily. I had a short fuse back then. So I had a short fuse in the past, but I'm not like that anymore. You got a short fuse, Marshall. So it means that you get angry easily, Marshall. So step number 4. Let's look at the word in the context.
Do they have a short fuse? Do they get angry quickly?
Do they have a short fuse? Do they get angry easily? Do they have a short fuse? Do they get angry easily?
My fuse has been very short lately with everything that I'm dealing with.
My fuse has been very short lately. Yeah, we can say that. My fuse has been very short lately.
You might have a short fuse like your mom, or a dry sense of humor like your grandfather.
You might have a short fuse like your mother, or a dry sense of humor like your grandfather. So, but the first part is what is important for us. You might have a short fuse like your mother. Might have a short fuse like your mother. And now, finally, step number 5, your own examples. I have to admit, when I'm hungry, I have a short fuse. So it's better not to talk to me when I'm hungry. Something like that. So now let's go quickly through all of these 5 words. And remember that you need to imagine some pictures in your head to remember these words for good. Live up to something. Like live our life. Live up to something. Like to be the first, to be the best. Live up to something. Preoccupied. Preoccupied. Like you can imagine that, I don't know, like a big octopus that occupied you and you can't think of anything else and you can't do anything else because you're preoccupied with your thoughts, with your problems. Trawl. You can imagine many different trolls looking through the stuff, looking for some information. Opt for something. Like you can imagine an optician looking at different objects and trying to find the best one. Opt for something. And have a short fuse. Remember that small object, have a short fuse. So I hope that you like these 5 words, and there are many more episodes to come. So please subscribe and join our series. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye bye.